Also, spirit too, with like tech stuff, always watch your stuff. Because they do like to, the electromagnetic frequencies like to like mess with the stuff for sure.
I've seen lots of drained batteries on other people's videos.
Things just like not.
Just being weird.
Yeah, like it's that, that'll happen. Like my computer will just like shut off randomly, or like the lights in here like do weird things sometimes too. It's just like that's their nature. That's how they can, right? Like that's like the frequency of energy makes sense that they can like like they can circuit something out, right?
I've always wondered like what, and I think this is something that I want to like find out or like ask like spirits, is like what it looks like from their end. Because like when we were talking about frequency and I was envisioning it, I was like envisioning like you know, like the Stranger Things like upside down, but where it's like you can see like waves, and it's like I wonder when you said that some spirits like are aware of you and some aren't. It's like I'm just curious, like, because if let's say that the spirits it was opposite, right, and it's just like you're just at your house and then you hear like doors opening and like hello, like we're here to talk to you, you'd be like yo, like, you know. And I've always just wondered like are they just doing their own thing and then we just come in the house and are just like what's up, like, and they're like excuse me,
can be
or is it like can they see us and be around us, or can they not see us and it's like they're just kind of, or are we light, or are we like, I'm always just like curious of like what that looks like. And I want to make sure that we are able to be respectful and like I don't want to offend any spirits. Like I'm upset, like
both, all of it. So just the same way as you're describing it right now. If something comes into your house and you were like willfully trying to connect, and like you'd be like, yeah, come on in. If you were really like, how do I put this? If your gut feeling when you go to a place, like use your gut feeling, like that's part of your energy center that's able to feel that. It's really sensitive. Use your gut feeling. If you're going to a space and it feels good, feels alright, you're exploring, and then something happens and you're like, we should not be here right now. Trust that feeling, because there is that type of energy that's like, we don't want you here. You are invading our space. But there's some energy that is super aware of it. They're like, oh, they have their feelers out too, right? Maybe they've been existing for lifetimes or centuries or whatever, that they are open. They're like, oh, hey, there's a human. You wanna chat? Should we chat? Okay, let's chat. And they start the process. I don't know what it looks like from like a physical perspective, what they're seeing, but I would imagine that it's probably a mix of everything that you just said. Like probably some of them, if that energy has its willful intention to connect, and that's what it's roaming around the planet trying to do, then yeah, it probably sees us in a similar fashion to we see it. Maybe allegedly, I don't know, I'd have to ask them. But then I'm sure that there is also energies that they just exist as an energy, and your energy is just an energy to them. And so when you do come into the picture, it could maybe look like an orb to them, or you know. So I would say, unless I had someone under hypnosis and I was asking them these specific answers and was able to ask a bunch of people, their spirit team, what it looks like. Again, like getting that scientific research. I'm not sure if I can answer exactly how they would see you, but when it comes to invading space, again, if you put that willful intention, like right when you're about to be there, or even when you start planning the project, you start looking at spaces that you're looking to go to, have that like inner monologue and ask, like, is it all right if we're here? Is it all right if we explore? And just like wait, see how you feel. If you kind of get a good feeling, or if you kind of get no feeling at all, that's your answer. Sure, it's good. There's nothing there. If you do get a gut feeling that you're like, hey, this is not great, like I don't like this space, I personally, like I said, I practice kind of in the light. I wouldn't impose. Some people do, like I said, some people like that. Some people go into it. Some people are trying to go in to push their boundaries. I don't know what effects they have on the outside of that, but that's just not something that I choose to practice in, right? Like you said, kind of, you want to be respectful. I try and be respectful of that instance, and I think if they're giving me enough of a feeling in my body that it's not going to work for them, I personally would try somewhere else. Just, you know, leave bygones be bygones, let them stay where they stay.
That makes sense.
Okay, when it comes to energy, like this different forms, different like species of energy, choose to believe what you believe, take the best and leave the rest. I personally believe that, like I said, there are energies that operate off of different frequencies. So I like to think of it as like a spectrum. And I personally, within my practice, I don't believe that there is like just good and just bad. To see, like, kind of, I like to reference this with like light and dark, that for there to be light, there has to be dark. If you were in a room and it was completely light, you wouldn't know that it's light unless there was a part in the room that was dark, or you had previously witnessed darkness. So they really just have to balance. I think that's where that like yin yang comes from. So when it comes to the balance of energies, I like to think of it as just this like large frequency, that there are some energies that operate closer to high vibe, and that just means it's like literally on a higher frequency of vibration. This is where I really like to get into like metaphysics and like quantum mechanics, because it is really, really relative. Like everything is a wave, all of the things are particles, everything is just energy. So when you understand that, and you can conceptualize that there's going to be energies that are operating kind of closer to the same frequency that you are, and then there are ones that do really run off of like maybe some different like lower quote unquote frequencies. This will tie in a little bit to like alien, ETs, and that kind of lifestyle, is that like we talk about those frequencies that are operating not off of a love frequency, those ones that are operating based off of fear, those are the ones that people generally will call like demons or anything like that. So I don't use that word in my practice just because I don't think it really has like ties to Christianity and religious context. And I'm like open and accepting of all religions, but I don't subscribe to any of them. I think most closely it would be like Buddhism or like Taoism, but I accept them all, and you know it's all pretty relative to what you believe, what you feel in your heart.
It's all the same idea though, of like there's lower and then there's higher, and like it's like the same. I feel like the same way that when we think about demons and like being able to like fight them with like light and everything, it's the same thing. It's like, oh, there's something like bad and negative, and you're like, hey, I'm positive, and then it's like, oh, it all balances out. It's all got the same.
And there's like whole planets that exist in that like lower frequency, as we call it, but that's normal for them, right? Like that's just how they exist. They don't have the capacity to operate on that higher frequency. So for them, it's not like, oh, I'm evil, I'm a bad energy. Like that's how they operate, which is why I say it goes back to go back to where you belong, go back to where your home is. You'll feel better there. You're trying to operate like these negative quote unquote energies are trying to operate in a space that's just not meant for them. And there's whole environments, planets, ecosystems that house those type of energies.
That makes so much sense, because I have a theory about cryptids, that they're just all like entities that just are on like they're from different places.
I'm not familiar with that.
Like Bigfoot and like and like aliens and stuff like that. Like anything that's like a like Mothman, like things like that, like cryptids, like creatures that people see. It's like I believe that they're kind of the same as like ghosts, where like they're not physically here, like they're not physically real, but we see like like a veil is lifted and we like see them, because you see them for a second or whatever, and then I know I've seen like a not that I like believe it, but like I've seen a video where it just like comes out of the ground and just like manifests and then just like disappears, and it's like, so like my like theory on cryptids is just like they're just entities from different dimensions, and they pop up every once in a while, and it's like, well, I don't know what you are, you're not from here. So it's like
I think that's pretty accurate.
Planets and like frequencies that all like make sense for it to just like pop in for a second, because like you're not from here. We don't see things like you.
I think that's pretty accurate. I think that absolutely. There's lots of them that exist on different dimensions that do cross over here as well. Some things I think definitely are existing on this planet, and they like just are very good at not being found, for sure. But yeah, absolutely. I do think that they exist on other dimensions. I know that they exist in other dimensions as well. I have a lot of sessions that we've talked about like Mars and other like planets, and like souls. I guess this is where we kind of get into my practice, that like souls can exist in multiple bodies, multiple forms. Like I won't say you guys specifically, but like odds are you guys have both lived multiple lives on other planets as animate objects, inanimate objects, as like trees, the earth as like senses or essences. So like location, you could have been the wind before, you could have been like the direction south, or like money or fire. Like you can exist, like all of souls are having this learning process of what it means and when collecting these life lessons.
Yeah, I definitely feel like, you know, this is not the first time that I've existed.
I don't think so.
And I know that like I feel like you can tell pretty easy when somebody is like new here.
Yeah.
And then when somebody's like
Newer,
not.
newer.
You know what I mean? Like you're like a baby soul and you're like an older soul. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I feel like I can like tell when it's like, oh, like you're pretty like, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're new.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely. I feel that way too. There's definitely souls that are newer and older, and even like new. I think new coming to this earth without having any previous lives before, I think it'd be pretty rare, just because Earth is a pretty intense learning place for souls. Like it really, really is.
Fair.
We have like all the senses, we have all the emotions, physical reality, like energetic reality. There are planes of existence that don't have any of that.
Right.
Like that is just they don't have physical matter, they don't have emotion, they don't have anything like that. It's just energy. A really cool concept, if you ever want to get into a deep dive rabbit hole, is like walk-in souls. And a lot of times I would say what I have been told in my like line of questioning from higher selves and stuff is that if a soul was to come here with no previous life, if this was their first separation from source into a body on earth, it's likely that they would be implanted with memories of like how to exist. Like one of the ones that is told to me, that's been told to me a few times, is that it's really important that any like living body that, and not living or not even living too, but mostly like living bodies that come to earth, that they have lived lives or periods of time. Kind of just like location's a really big one. If you don't have any sense of location or direction, it'd be really hard to function on earth, especially. Like, think about like
as somebody with barely any sense of
well,
direction.
and I just mean like even just like knowing up from down, like vertigo. That's a really important one. Like if you like people who experience vertigo, they're not super connected in that moment with the direction of time and space and like functional direction. Of course, scientifically as well, there's things that's going on in their ears, in their ear channel. Like it's always two sides of the same coin, right? Like spirituality and science are always going to be really relative to each other. But yeah, like I would say most like 99% of the population has lived lives before, and they're here on a path already. They already have like karmic debts and stuff like that, lessons and whatnot.